been a while. Sam's a little sleepy guy. Hey, Sam. Sam, you've been sleeping for like 2 weeks, dude. Time to wake up. What's up, Chico? We're talking about lots of stuff. Addiction. Talking about reproduction. Lots of good stuff. Welcome in, Chico. It's good to see you. According to my past doctor, I have an addiction problem because my 1 bottle of anti-anxiety meds lasted me almost a year. Needless to say, I no longer see them. Wait, I have an addiction problem because my 1 bottle of anti-anxiety meds lasted me almost a year. Wait, Wolfer, I don't understand. Yeah, the dreams, but yes, dreams post substance use. Whew. Would you consider food as an addiction?
Well, thanks.
Okay, so here's the tricky thing about addiction. So there's like a couple camps on addiction. Like there's the camp of people who would say that you could theoretically be addicted to anything because the addiction is the response to the lack of the thing. Okay, so like, for example, like if a person was addicted, say, to potato chips, you could theoretically maybe say that the person is addicted to potato chips if they have an adverse response to the withholding or the absence of potato chips. Okay. Then you have some people who say, well, no, addiction, like it's got to be certain things. There's got to be a biochemical process. There's got to be all these sorts of things. Okay. So it's a little bit tricky. In my experience, I mean, I would say that food is certainly something that people can be addicted to, in part because food can serve as a buffer for a lot of things. People get endorphin rushes from eating. Like you can get some pretty strong dopamine hits from the types of food that you eat. And people also, like, they find comfort in it. And then if food is not around, sometimes people will become agitated. But to call it an addiction, like, I don't know that people necessarily can go through withdrawal with food, depending on what food we're talking about. But that's where you get into the weeds with addiction. Now, I am not an addiction specialist, so my ability to speak to addiction is somewhat limited relative to somebody who works with addictions for a living. So keep that in mind when I answer about some of this stuff. Any advice I can give to my friend? She's dealing with her mother visiting her, and she is very narcissistic. Told her to ditch her at her grandma's house, but she feels compelled to tolerate her mom's verbal abuse just because she's her mom. Well, at that point, K-Girl, I don't know that there's much advice you could give if the person is set on, this is what I'm going to do. You know? Like, I don't know what kind of, like, what advice specifically, are you trying to get her to not hang out with the person? Like, I think that's what I would be interested in, is what's your angle on this, K-Girl? Did any mental health classes you took ever discuss mental health connections between incels, terrorism, or mass shootings? No. I had a special problems in populations class that I took that covered certain, like, deep psychoses, but at the time I took that class, incels were not really a thing yet. She was angry because I wouldn't take the Ativan 3 times a day. I only took it when I needed it. So 60 pills lasted me 11 months. So apparently I'm addicted because I didn't take them her way. Interesting. I've been anxious about returning to work in the new year, especially after I've been treated so poorly at work. That makes a lot of sense, D. I mean, I certainly wouldn't blame you for not wanting to go to work if it's been a really poor experience for you so far. I find myself being extremely anxious for no reason, like losing my mind thinking about weird shit anxious. So hopefully that's kind of typical and goes away. People have all sorts of responses to it, Zach.
You read me?
All sorts of responses.
Uh-huh. Calling you via a Bridges dedicated line. I've been asked to carry on in my sister's place and provide you with support. We're whole again. One. Forever and always.
She's trying to help her realize how valuable she is.
I shouldn't have any trouble getting up to speed.
And that she doesn't deserve mom's bullshit. She struggles with how to connect with her mom because she's so full of shit.
Never was.
Interesting.
It's about what she wants. What we want. And why shouldn't we help you? You helped us.
I did.
We're all connected now.
Okay. I mean, is she wanting assistance, K-Girl? Like, that's the thing is like, I mean, here's, okay. So I know I keep doing the scene switch. I apologize for that, but what's up, Anthony? Okay, so here's the thing. Whenever we're dealing with certain relationships, like in the one that you're talking about here, K-Girl, where maybe there's some strain or some distress within that relationship and it's maybe annoying to us, but we still make the decision to be in the presence of that person. Like, you really have to think about it in like this way, which is that we only have the ability to change what we can change. So that means it could mean changing our boundaries. It could mean changing our interaction style. It could mean all sorts of things, but you can't go into a scenario with another person saying, I want to do a thing or like, I want that person to change, because that person's only going to change if they want to, or if the environment demands that change. So what you're really talking about here is, okay, so if you're going to make the decision, if you're going to make the decision to be in the presence of this person, then you need to decide what boundaries you want to have, if you want to have boundaries, and you have to decide the level at which you're going to interact. If you're going to decide to hang out with this person and take them at face value and just be like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to take them for what they are. They drive me crazy, but I'm going to make the decision to hang out with them. Then you really have to change your attitude. Like, I'm a big fan of the saying, either change your circumstances or change your attitude. So if you're not going to change your circumstances, if you're not going to change your boundaries, if you're not going to change your interaction style, then you are responsible for changing your attitude about it. Because if you go into something trying to have your cake and eat it too, that's just not fair to that person. Like, if you're going to go in there and be shitty to that person because they're not changing, but you haven't explicitly said, hey, we need to talk about the nature of our relationship, then you're not doing anybody any good. So.
Weapons restrictions lifted.
I mean, so Titan, you're kind of talking more about like deep psychopathy, which is not something that's really covered for marriage and family therapists. Tree Hugger, my man. What's up? And hello, Tree Huggers peeps. So good to have you here. I'm Dr. Mick, licensed couple and family therapist. You may have heard of me. I'm a huge fan of Tree Hugger. Great guy. Welcome in. Feel free to hang out with us for a while. We've got some cool people here. If you've never met me before, feel free to drop me a follow. I'm a licensed therapist to talk about mental health, all sorts of fun stuff. The Tree Hugger is a valued member of the community. I restrung all my guitars and cleaned them and oiled the necks. I think you'd love a game called Rocksmith. You know what, Zach? I've seen Rocksmith and it does look interesting to me. It feels like it would be a good way to get back on the wagon with like learning some songs. She keeps talking to me about it. She seems to be really struggling. We talked to her on the phone for an hour about her mom yesterday. My goodness. Yeah, I mean, it sounds rough, K-Girl. There's only so much you can do though, you know? Like, you as your friend can support, you can listen, you can have some of your own boundaries with her if you need to have your own boundaries. But sitting back and listening to offer support is fine. Talking about setting boundaries and supporting her in setting boundaries, that can certainly work too. Oh my God, Putt Dog, that is awful. That is really awful. I'm here against my will. I've been Twitch snapped. Well, Stig, I'm sorry you're here against your will. You certainly don't have to stay if you don't want to be here. Mansupio, good to see you. Mother, hello. No, not anything that I took, Titan. No. But welcome, Raiders. Good to have you here. You can't kick me out. Well, I could, but I don't really want to. Oop, I'm going the wrong way. We got to go this way. We're going to go up to that bridge. Because I'm guessing that bridge is going to make my life a hell of a lot easier. You wouldn't dare. Well, hey, as long as you behave yourself, we're good, Stig. You should, Tree Hugger. Maybe Tree Hugger does work for NASA, and he just doesn't really tell us. It just comes out in that. What's up, Gecko? Stig is a funny troll. You'll get used to it. I'm totally fine with that. I can tell me and Stig are gonna get along just fine. Chicago Dog. Did you get a Chicago Dog yet, Anthony? Also, yeah. How was your stream, Tree Hugger? Were you playing more Kerbal? I got Weird Baby Simulator 2K19 for Christmas. Awesome, Victoria. That's excellent. How far in are you? Have you started it? KSB still makes my brain leak from my ears. It does look incredibly complicated. Good to see you, Derp. Guess so, and you're right. In marriage and family therapy, it doesn't require knowledge for obvious reasons. Yeah, like that kind of deep psychopathy, I'm going to be reeking a referral, Titan. Gecko, how are you, man? I'm playing Deluge, drum machine sequencer, and it helps me feel a bit less anxious. Have something to touch. That's great, D. It's so cool that you can identify that, man. I installed it. That's about it. It's good to be back streaming, Dirt. I'm about 95% healthy at this point. And you know what? And I brought a mustache. You like it? So what do you guys think? So do I go to work on Monday with this, or do I shave it Monday morning? What do you think? I'm interested in the votes. Please don't. You look like Fred Durst. Oh my God, Sam. Now I have to shave. Oh my God. Fred Durst. Holy shit.
Excellent.
Makes you look sketchy. Are you counseling any children that you could cause trauma to? Go with it to work, but then have no vested interest in your clients continuing to see it. That's true. Oh my God. Oh my God. Sam, that made me laugh so hard. Thank you for that. Oh my God. All beautiful plants start as sprouts. Let that baby caterpillar form into a beautiful Sam Elliott smash dash. You know, if only I could, Zach. If only I could. God, I wish I could grow a full-blown mustache. My dad has a full mustache. Misunderstood. The mustache reminds me of Mr. Banks in the original Mary Poppins. Comb it. Oh, God. I hate it. I wish it came in more full. I'm probably going to shave it on Monday.
Something I've been meaning to ask.
Yeah, you look like Fred Durst.
If me being a part of it ensures more people get the medical attention they require, then it's well worth it.
I don't even know how to feel about that. Have you guys ever seen Fred? If you guys should look up Fred Durst's amazing guitar solo on YouTube. It makes me laugh so hard. Sam, how was your holiday? By the way, anybody who I didn't see yesterday, tell me how your holidays were. I'd love to hear about it. Could someone seek therapy over something they saw on TV or video game? You can seek therapy over anything, Titan. You don't have to have what's the word I'm looking for? Conventional reason to go to therapy. Like if you saw something on TV and it distressed you enough that you wanted to go to therapy, go to therapy, man. I need therapy now that I've seen it. Porn stash is banging. That's right. What's up, llama? I couldn't grow anything other than a dirt stash until I let it go. I have these beautiful curls on the side. That's amazing, Zach. My holidays were just another day. Nothing to report. Nothing wrong with that. Was nice and lazy. Stayed home, slept, cleaned my apartment. Nice.
Oh, by the way,
I did a belated family gift exchange thing today and got to see my baby niece. It was fun.
more than welcome to it.
Oh, don't worry about the typos, Zach. What is that? I'm happy getting to interact with so many friends in an evening and looking forward to some fun things coming next week. Nice, Gecko. That's awesome. Is that a vape? Your canteen has been upgraded to level 2. Level 2 canteen produces monster energy that restores more stamina than the level 1 canteen. Gotta love the monster energy product placement.
And as you know, every life that's saved is
Now we need
one
some merch
fewer
related to the
BT
mustache.
do.
It'll be a sticker that you can put on
In
your
the long
face
run
that says
means
"You
even more
matter" with
lives
a
are
few
saved.
bristles.
Please don't give up. No matter how difficult it may become.
Oh God, K-Girl, you were thinking about
implore
Gecko? I'm sorry to hear that.
I see you've put another shelter on the network. Nice job. Chiral levels are increasing as predicted, which is
Oh, is
good.
he gonna hop in the shower
As
with
for
me again?
28, you'll be pleased to hear the operation went well.
Oh, nice.
There should be no need for additional major procedures. We're not out of the woods yet, but I think it's safe to say that the worst is behind us. All that remains is to continue expanding the network, monitor changes as chiral levels increase, and make adjustments as necessary. Drug therapy should suffice. Keep it up, Sam.
Beauty. Zeph woke up. Well, hello, Zeph.
New order available. Please access
Do you play board
delivery
games or
terminal
just video
for
games? I do
further
play board
information.
games, Chico. Not as often as I'd like to, but I do play them. Do you? I don't have any glasses. Does that really plug monster? Oh yeah, Zach. You like slam monsters in the bases. It's really crazy. Ooh, time sensitive. Let's go. Squints, hello. I go to therapy simply to have someone to listen to while I think out loud. You can go to therapy to process anything. That's exactly right. You can go to therapy for whatever reason you want. Out of curiosity, what's your view on empath?
Order assigned.
What do you mean?
Delivery parameters
Misunderstood? Like
updated.
whether
Time
they
limit
exist or like what it's like to be an empath? Can you clarify for me, misunderstood?
Keep on keeping on. Weapons restrictions lifted.
You support him, which is just as bad. Pretty sure you are just the South African version of Freud. Oh, you're talking to Gecko, okay. We should do a dual stream with Tabletop Simulator. What would we play, Gecko? Zach, it just highlights your thing. It's no different than if you were to like ping me. I don't really understand it. I just learned that it was a thing last night. I just noticed this emote has a mustache. It does, Chev. That's how far I'm going for my bubbly sponsorship, is to grow an actual mustache. Empathic people. Well, I mean, I think empathic people are wonderful. I will say that people who are deeply empathic can sometimes struggle a bit because they will take on other people's emotions, in some ways almost as their own, which can be really distressing if you're surrounded by people who have some pretty negative energy. So that's something that people who are deeply empathetic need to look out for. But I think empathy is something that is good. Obviously, I think if we use empathy to try to understand people and to be kind to them, that's where it's at. But yes, people who are deeply empathetic have to be careful sometimes because they can get themselves into trouble where they will actually they will pay more attention to the experiences of others over their own experience. And that can be really rough because if you don't pay attention to your own emotional experience and you're paying attention to other people's emotional experiences, you won't be able to differentiate how you're feeling from how other people are feeling. And that can be a really bad place to be.
All weapons will remain locked until departure.
This holiday season was hard. My 1-year stream anniversary was tonight. Oh my God, Tree Hugger. Well, congratulations to that. Put some pictures of my son up at the end. Kind of make me feel better since I haven't looked at them since he died. I'm just now getting a grip. A friend told me expression and distraction are the keys. This last year has been a learning experience. Tree Hugger. Just want to say really quick, man. That's super cool. First of all, congratulations on the 1-year streaming. That's awesome. 2, that's really cool that you put pictures of your son up. There's a VOD up of that. I will go and check that out because I would love to see him. I know he was a huge deal for you, obviously. And I know this last year has been really rough. And the way that you have managed to channel your grief into your streaming, to doing something that you and him had planned to do, you are an awesome dude, Tree Hugger, and I'm really glad to know you. And I admire so much the way that you have been so open and in touch with your experience. You've gone through everything, and that you've shared that with people, and that you've tried to help other people who might be experiencing something similar. It is incredible stuff, dude. It really is. I admire the hell out of you. Deeply empathic, I would say. The empaths I know are a bit on the silly side and act like they have mystical superpowers. I've not seen that before, Llama, but I can see how that might be the case. I have zero desire to sleep with my dad, even if I was spanking some kids. Okay, girl, you just haven't dug deep enough into your psyche yet, apparently. What's up, Uncle Bill? Good evening to you, sir. Let's put some hearts out there for our friend and brother Tree Hugger. Yeah, I'm down for that. You turn the game volume down a smidge. I sure can, K-Girl.
Thanks, Sam.
Just for you.
Mountain Knot City wouldn't be on the chiral network if it weren't for you. And now we can finally do our part for
What's up, Matt M? Good to see you. By the way, anybody else who might be lurking right now below, I'm so glad to have you all here.
How did you get this here so fast?
Guy really wearing a Santa hat?
Failed to impress.
Okay. My biggest problem is acting without thinking. Gets me in more trouble than I need. Hey, that can certainly happen, misunderstood. Bridging the connection between emotion and behavior with engaging our prefrontal cortex can be very, very helpful. I wouldn't think of it as superpowers. I think of it more along the lines of they just don't fully understand their feelings and how they relate to those around them. What do you mean, Derp? In terms of empaths? Game volume is fine, but mic level is too low. All right, well, let me jack the mic level a little bit. I've been having some weird stuff going on with my Go LXR has been a little bit weird lately. I reset it today, and I think that might help.
Never felt so connected. You know, folks have shared stories about
Even the game is celebrating Christmas. It is indeed. It would be nice if when I went to one of these bases, there was like a menorah or something. Is that better? Okay. All right.
you're willing to go through hell.
I'm gonna need to save this preset because I think the preset that I have has my microphone a little bit too low, and so this is gonna be a little bit better now that it's monitoring properly. Yeah, I can see the levels are. I'm peaking where I should be now. Talking to my friend, I said Mark Harmon is weirdly attractive in NCIS. She said, dude, he looks and acts like your dad. You need to bring that up in therapy because it's hilarious. I said, actually. Oh man, K-Girl. That's hilarious. Going back to what Llama said about how some empathetic people have superpowers. Oh yeah. I mean, it's a great thing to be able to empathize with people deeply. It really is. You just have to be careful and recognize when you're taking on the emotions of the group rather than having your own experiences, because sometimes what will happen for people who are deeply empathic is they will have like emotional outbursts, or they will feel particularly anxious and they won't be able to understand why. And it's often because they're absorbing what's going on with the people around them instead of like realizing that like maybe they're actually okay. So that's why you've got to be really careful with that stuff. All right, we're about to climb this big ass mountain here. The Big Rock Candy Mountain. Also been listening to a lot of true crime podcasts, how serial killers have early trauma and prefrontal cortex. Ever read anything about how there's any correlation, if it carries any merit, to why serial killers do what they do? So one of the main correlates have, Zach, so I don't know a ton, Zach, but I will say that one of the main things that generally you see in people who are like sociopaths in that way, or psychopaths, serial killers, is that they often are devoid of the ability to empathize well. Like you often see, like as kids, they will torture animals, and there's this thing where, for whatever reason, their empathy for what it must be like to harm somebody else or to be experiencing harm or torture, they don't experience. So what they do is they view these things as a lot more like anthropological, where it's like this exploration and this morbid curiosity that doesn't carry with it the weight of what it was like to empathize with what might be going on. So it's almost like this really distant thing in the way that, like, if I was like, hey, check out this, like, look at my earphone case. This is really cool how this opens like this and you put the earbuds in. Like, what happens if I contort it this way? Can it handle it? And they'll basically handle people like that. That's the extent of my knowledge of kind of the way that serial killers work as it relates to that type of psychopathy. Couldn't look my dad in the eyes for a week after he said that. That makes sense. Hey, girl. What's up, Zoiku? Any tips for approaching conflict resolution with a coworker who's very conflict avoidant? I had a bit of a stressful situation at work this past week, but wasn't really able to talk it through with this person because they basically nope out of anything like that. So again, Skog, there's not a lot you can do to necessarily change another person, but what you can do is look at what you're doing and what you're bringing to the engagement. So if it's important enough, you might just have to be direct, and you might have to recognize the person's going to try to nope out of there. And if that's what they need to do to protect themselves, then maybe you just need to hold the line, be a little bit more direct, or be softer if that's going to help you be able to engage with them in a way that's going to be a little bit more meaningful. It's hard for me to say without knowing the person. They get very emotional and want to create distance. So that's okay. I mean, you can also acknowledge that for them. Like, hey, I know that this is really stressful. I know that you want to leave, and I'm going to be respectful of that. At the same time, we need to talk. So when you're ready, you need to come find me. And if I don't hear from you within the next couple of days or however long you need it to be, then we are going to have this conversation. Something like that. But again, I don't know the person to be able to give you too helpful of an answer beyond that, Scott. So they don't see it as actually causing harm, rather like an experiment. Sort of, yeah, Zach, from my understanding of it. It's this real curiosity. Like, how will this person react? And then there's like power and control. There's an extremeness to it. Sometimes maybe that's the only way a person can feel something. What's up, Lollipop? What do you think about the book The Sociopath Next Door? I have never read it, so I unfortunately don't have anything I can say about it, Lollipop. My hotel has been hit with over $3,000 in credit card fraud. It's been a nightmare to deal with. Out of respect for the person working on their sobriety, I won't say what I wanted to do after work to help unwind with the stress. Well, that makes a lot of sense, K-Girl. Yeah, maybe don't take the K-Girl approach. What? Oh, jeez. Hold your breath, Sam. Hey, man, you sound like you're back to 100%. I'm close, look. I'm at like 95%. I'm doing better than I was yesterday. Every day has been a step up. So I'm happy about that. Yeah, conflict avoidance. Conflict avoidance is essentially like anxiety avoidance. I actually like to look at conflict avoidance as a form of social anxiety, where people who are conflict avoidant often feel like they don't entirely know how to engage, and they don't know how to engage, especially in the presence of maybe some more intense emotion of what's going on. And so conflict avoidance is avoidance seeking behavior, which actually exacerbates the level of anxiety a person's going to experience in anticipation of conflict. It's a really nasty positive feedback loop. You nailed the animal rights movement right there. They have to paint lawful animal users as abusers. That is true. Snow BTs, indeed. It's about how common sociopaths are. Like, saying they are common, Lollipop? Or that they're not common? Get away from me. Get away from me. Get away from me. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. She's a very anxious person by nature. I've had to do a fair bit of working around her in order to work with her, if that makes sense. It does make sense, Skog. That can be really frustrating. We do get channel points now, Victoria. Conflict gives me pretty bad anxiety lately. I used to not bother me at all. It will do that. I mean, conflict's not fun for anybody. I'm a therapist and I hate conflict. Like, nobody likes conflict. You like conflict. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say nobody likes conflict, but I mean, it's okay to have spirited discussions. It's okay to have an emotional conversation. But yeah, most people don't enjoy conflict. It's not fun. Oh no. Oh my god. No! No! Oh god, hold on guys. I gotta get out of this. Run, Sam. All right, we did this tried to sneak my way through that. Are you going to give your channel points a nickname? I didn't know I could do that. I'm going to have to just sit and look at that. Because honestly, I have no idea about any of this stuff, Scott. Basically, that anyone who shows anything that can be drawn from a behavior that can be at all attributed to sociopaths is one. Ooh. Who's the book written by, Lollipop? I hate misunderstandings. So do I. But they happen all the time. See, the thing is, like, misunderstandings aren't inherently bad. It's the way that we communicate through them that often causes people problems. It's okay to have a misunderstanding. But learning how to communicate effectively through a misunderstanding is what's going to take people into better, more fulfilling relationships. Conflict does get a bad rap. I suggest Bubblies. Not unless they sponsor me, Skog. I can't give them too much free advertising. Oh, God. My friend just got back together with a toxic ex who lies, manipulates, and helped him develop depression and anxiety after she broke up with him for someone else. His other friends and I told him about her behaviors and actions. He said he understood, but now he's back with her. Any suggestions? Well, Primal Savage, first of all, it's good to have you here. Second of all, are you asking for suggestions for you or suggestions for your friend? Because it sounds like your friend has made up their mind. I don't know if you were here earlier when I was saying this, but this is one of those instances, like, again, if people are going to choose to engage in a certain type of relationship and they know what that comes along with, then at some point it's like, if you don't change your circumstances, then you have to change your attitude about it. And if you as a friend need to set more boundaries with your friend, because when they're with this person, maybe they talk about it a lot or they complain a lot and it's annoying to you, and maybe that you have to think about the nature of your relationship to that person instead of that person's relationship, if that makes sense. Like, hey man, that's fine that you're back with her, but if you're going to complain about this stuff, I can't hear it because I warned you. Something like that, you know? It's good to have you here, Primal. You just can't use channel points to be redeemed for actual currency. Right. You can, like, get subs and stuff from it, can't you? Generic carbonated drinks. Yeah, there we go, Scott. How can I help him out here best? So here's the thing, Primal. Would your friend say that he wants help? Because if your friend wouldn't say that they want help, then what? Okay, so here's the thing. I got to speak generally here, but this brings up a really good point. If you're ever talking about like a person you want to help, but that person hasn't said that they want help, then oftentimes what a person is talking about is their own anxiety or their own frustrations related to the actual thing that they're talking about. And it's important for us to be able to acknowledge that. So if it's that the friend in this case, Primal, I don't know if this is the case, but if your friend is not asking for help and your friend's like, hey, no, it's cool, I'm with her, we're good, but you have a problem with it, that's okay. You can have a problem with it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's important to recognize it maybe as that as opposed to helping your friend, and maybe deciding what you want the nature of your relationship with your friend to be like while he's in that relationship. Again, of like, hey man, like, that's cool, I'm behind, like, I can back you as a friend and I can support it, but I do want to warn you about these behaviors because I'm looking out for you. But if that's the decision that you made, I'll respect it as your friend, but I can't hear you talking about some of this stuff because it stresses me out too much. I don't want the nature of our relationship to be one where you're constantly talking about your girlfriend, something like that. Really important. I don't know how helpful you find that to be, Primal, but it's a really great question. I like the holiday modes too. I bet your body's doing some serious readjustment right now. Hang in there. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely it is. That's what happens. But if you want further clarification on anything I said, Primal, by all means ask, or if I missed the boat, tell me. I want to make sure I'm answering your question, or that I'm assisting. It's hard to change other people. We can't really change other people. We can only look at ourselves. It's a really important thing. Like, you'd be amazed the amount of times where I'm like, even in doing therapy, where people will come in and they'll basically want me to change other people. And I gotta be like, hey, I'm here for you. I can only help you with you. If you want to change another person, you got to bring them in. And then I'll work with both of you around how that might look. Oh man, I really hope I didn't just over-injure that. I dealt with something similar. I told her the same thing. She doesn't talk to me at all anymore now. Man, see, that's rough, Dirt, but again, that's their choice. It's important to recognize that other people have autonomy, and the other people are able to make decisions about how to show up in relationships as much as we are. You know, I have no doubt you're trying to be a good friend. It's her loss. That's a good attitude, Dirt. I've gone to therapy and asked my therapist, make me less of a bitch, and he has just started a long process. Hey. And he hangs in there with you, okay, girl, which is awesome.
Scanning Bridges ID. Fragile Express ID verified.
This game should give us skis. It really should. You can actually get a sled. I just choose not to because I like walking. I feel like because I've been streaming this game and like been basically using it as background fodder for chatting with everybody, that I'm totally not playing this right. Like, I have walked to so many places in this game where like I could have probably used other stuff but didn't.
Delivering
That's seriously, Derp, I wish more people could have that mentality. It's a great mentality.
Oh, you made it.
That's what we do, K-Girl. That's what we do. Or it's because you basically haven't had...
Here, I see.
Yeah, Scott, yeah, it's... I don't know if that's actually the reason why, but it would make sense to me. We live in a culture that sucks at personal responsibility, even with feelings. Yeah.
I hear you're the one to talk to about the chiral network.
We're good at holding other people accountable for
True that a
things,
contract
sort
will
of.
access your schematics and so forth. I want to share my research with everyone.
Did you just call me
Let them
mental?
read it. Let
No.
them learn from it, like I learned from their work. Make me a part of the UCA.
You got it. Will do. By the way, this is a great opportunity for me to say to all of you who are hanging out with me tonight, thank you very much for being here. If you're lurking, or if this is your first time seeing me, like if you're chilling there and you're like, I don't know this guy. I was browsing Death Stranding and I don't know who the hell this guy is. Hello to you two. I'm glad you're here. I hope you follow. We got a great community. It's so good to have all of you here with me tonight. You guys rock. And I love chatting with you and I love hanging out. It's a lot of fun for me. It's good to be back in the saddle. It's almost like I never left. 2 weeks is a long time to be out of commission. I was browsing Death Stranding and now I'm enjoying the stream. Well, there we go, Sis. Welcome in. I'm so glad to have you here. We got some fabulous people here. I'm all right, but the people in chat,
Very good. Very good. Guess we're in this together now, Sam.
absolutely
I'd
the
love
best.
to show you around the place, but it's a terrible mess.
Yeah, well,
Thanks, Sam.
how's BB doing?
Appears to be on the road to recovery. Its affinity with the other side is growing stronger, as we hoped. The convulsions and spasms have ceased as well. I know it's tough out there without a BB, but you've got...
That's why I don't see the guy, the
Just
BTs.
like the kid is. Just like BB-28 is.
That's why.
Sam, we've received an order from a new
He's
client.
asked me to have him call him at night
Mountain Knot City
when the
for
feelings hit
details,
hardest.
And do it soon. Sounds like someone is in need of
Ooh,
medicine.
all right, hold on. I'll read that in a second, Primal. Okay.
Good work.
He's asked me to have him call him at night when the feelings hit hardest, even being there for him at 3 in the morning when he's talking about ending himself or just hurt himself. He's going to therapy and on medication, even going as far as to tell me he knows how she treated him is wrong and that he won't fall for what she does anymore. Now it seems all the progress he made threw to the wind and spit in my face. That really sucks, Primal. And what I hate to say is that you're not the only person in this world that I have heard that has had something like that happen. It really sucks. And it sucks to watch something like that happen. It sucks to be involved in it in that way. Now, I can't give you any professional advice or anything like that. But what I can tell you is that in general, in circumstances like that, fall back again on, really important to think about what your boundaries are. Because again, what you're talking, it's interesting because what you're talking about is the nature of your relationship and how that has changed relative to your friend's relationship status changing. That happens all the time. But when it has these distressing outcomes for us because of the implications or the consequences of that, really important for us to sit for a second and be like, you know what? Then this means we got to talk about this, man, because I can't be doing this stuff. Like, I get it. I get that it's stressful, but ultimately it's a decision that he made. And what too many of us do is we try to intercept the consequences for other people's actions rather than letting consequences happen for people when they make bad decisions. Sometimes you have to let the bad decisions happen. Sometimes we have to watch consequences happen. Same thing with parenting. Sometimes you have to watch your kids experience adversity, as hard as that can be. Intercepting consequences is unhealthy because then people don't understand what the reinforcement mechanisms are for their behaviors, whether they're rewards or punishments. And if you intercept punishments, then you are passively rewarding certain behaviors or allowing them to continue. Anyway, I really appreciate you sharing this stuff, Primal. Oh, wow. The weather station's right on the other side of that. I don't really want to go to the weather station, though. Although, what is that? Why does the weather station have an exclamation point on it? Cargo for Sam present. Oh, shit. All right, we're going to go there then. We're going to go there. Do not intercept consequences, but you can be there for them as they deal with them. Amen to that, Chico. Amen to that, dude. Absolutely. An active skeleton that improves the wearer's ability to move and stay upright on uneven surfaces.
Should be.
Will prevent your endurance. Wait. You will be less liable to slip and lose speed on rough terrain while the skeleton is equipped and battery power is available. The endurance gauge. Ooh, all right. I'm going to go ahead and fabricate one of those. Gimme, 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 gimme. Neato. Now we can climb on some cool shit. He's been my friend for almost 8 years and is closer to a brother to me. I'm just afraid if I don't make myself available to him, he'll do something that can't be undone. That is not your responsibility, Primal. That's just some real talk. People are accountable for their own actions. And I stand by that 100%. I have to help people recognize that in therapy all the time. People are responsible for their own actions. And it is also not fair to manipulate. And I'm not saying this is happening. Again, Primal, I'm not saying this is what's happening, but this is just a general statement on this type of thing. It is not fair to manipulate people into staying in a relationship configuration by threatening harm. That's unhealthy. And that is in some ways abusive. I will not tolerate abuse to my staff. I always tell them that. No guest has the right to make you feel like shit or you don't matter. I don't care if they're paying $500 a night. They can go elsewhere. I'm totally on board with that, girl. This skeleton really helps in the snow. I'm excited about it, Sis. Oh my god. This is wonderful.
Weapons restrictions lifted.
Not sure how others feel about it, but I would tend to share those feelings with someone I was close to. When you talk like this, it scares me for your well-being. No, I'm totally down with that. Totally down with that, Chico. We are like that snowplow moose. That's right. The tree hugger moose. All an ass. I'm unstoppable now. This is awesome. Also, I forgot how much I love this game. I haven't touched this game in 2 weeks. And I have missed it so much. I'm so glad you guys indulge me in how many times. This is the 20th time I've gone on stream playing this game.
Look at all those.
I love that tree hugger. That's awesome. Primal, thank you for the motes. Oh, for the motes. I always say motes. Thank you for the bits, Primal. I appreciate that a lot. Thanks for the help. I'll be sure to see if I can use what you said. Well, I'm super grateful to have you around, Primal. I do hope it helps. It's a tough situation to be in, man. I don't want that to be lost on. Like, I totally can see how frustrating that would be. Ladies and gents, my eyes are heavy. Knees weak, arms are heavy. Vomit on your sweaty already? On your sweaty. Good night, Gecko. Thank you for being here, dude. It's always awesome having you in here. Although I want to know, you know, I'm going to be interested to see, Gecko, when we get to next September at the 2-year streamversary, if you're still #1 on the chat list, man. Lucky for you, I got my fix of Jackbox today with the family. Very nice. That's already been, tomorrow will be 2 weeks since we played that. Is there ever a time or act where one person is justified in feeling like the other's actions are 100% the result of what the first person has done to them? Okay, so here's a little bit of an annoying answer to that, Lollipop, but no. And I say that as somebody who's very systemically minded. So it's kind of like it's like the physics of an interaction. For every action, there's an equal opposite reaction. So when you exert influence in a relationship or in an interaction, that energy has to go somewhere and it goes into a response. Now, you could make the argument that a person who, like, you know, if a person punches you in the face, like, they are 100% accountable to that. Now, they may say to you, and this is where this gets really sticky. I'm not going to victim blame here. But they may say they had reason to do it. It doesn't make the action okay, but they may say they had reason to do it. And so then you get into this really arbitrary thing of, like, fault and accountability. Ultimately, people need to be held accountable for their actions, my opinion. So you're always 100% justified in what you feel. The meaning you make out of it is something that could be up for some debate and some change if it's leading to poor decision making. That makes sense. What's up, Blaman? Is there a name for this experience? I can't keep a job. Being around people without a long break, like months, is frustrating. Routines are non-existent in my life except for not having a routine. I seem to only see negative. I believe it may be a character flaw rather than something I could take medicine for. I believed at one time I could be bipolar. I exhibit symptoms of depression. I'm not sure if depression is the reason why I have these problems. So, Blaman, I don't know that I'm going to be able to throw a name on it. I certainly can't diagnose you. I will say that what you're describing, I have heard people who experience depression is saying things that are similar. I am not saying that you have depression. I can't say that you have depression. Those are the types of things that run through the mind of a person who's experiencing depression. There's you might look up dysthymia. I'm going to make sure I spell this right. What is that one? Check out dysthymia. Those who don't know, it's kind of like this. It's like this moderate. Okay, hold on. Let me get this back up. Okay, it's like this moderate form of depression where, like, people really just don't feel like they don't care about much. It's like a general sense of apathy. That would be the closest thing that I can think of off the top of my head, Flamin.
Delivering cargo.
Yeah, consistent and ongoing is generally part of any sort of diagnosable thing.
Thanks for coming. It means a lot.
What if their stance is that holding them responsible for their action is the victim being... Ah, man.
But
So, Lollipop, then that's where you're getting into, like, context. Like, context in this case would matter. I think anytime people speak in absolutes, that's not a great position to take. So you're already at a disadvantage if a person that you're interacting with is speaking in absolutes. Really important to try to get people away from doing that. And to see context and to see that there's more to things.
Here.
That's right. Only the Sith deal in
Consider it
absolutes.
an expression of my gratitude.
Give me some medals. Okay. I don't really care about that, but
Well, good luck to you.
do you plan on seeing Star Wars Episode 9? I do, Titan. I don't know when I'll see it, but I do plan to. All right. Take on order. Wait, it said that there were orders for Sam. What the hell? Oh. So I need to go. Okay, hold on a second. So I need to go here, get the stuff, and then come back. Right. Can do.
Don't try to be too reckless, okay? Weapons
I've heard of this thing I may have where I have a massive fear of having panic attacks, where I would be extremely embarrassed to have one. You could look up panic disorder if you wanted to, Zach. I'm not diagnosing you with that, obviously, but like, panic attacks often are spurned on by being afraid of a panic attack. It's a really terrible positive feedback loop. So, the person's often afraid of a panic attack, and then it primes them to look for things that could set them off. Then they look for the triggers, then they see the trigger, then they have the panic attack, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Isn't the phrase only the Sith deal in absolute an absolute? It is, Lynx. Kind of cool, right? I'm going entirely the wrong way. Is there much difference between Dysthymia and anhedonia? Off the top of my head, I don't know, K-Girl. I would have to, like, reread both of them. I get them mixed up, too, if that helps. If that makes you feel any better. I'm a therapist, and I get them mixed up. Like, if I had a client who I thought was experiencing symptoms of either dysthymia or anhedonia, I would go and look it up before I was going to talk to them about the diagnosis. I do, Zach. I'm a therapist, man. That's what I do. I understand people. I listen. Keep the collective knowledge of other therapists in my head, and then do what I can to impart it to the masses. It's what I'm here for, man. I think trigger is a triggering word itself. It can be, Chef. Triggers are relative to a person. So what could be triggering for one person may not be triggering at all for another. It's really important to understand that about triggers. People get into this whole thing about like, okay, well, I have PTSD and I'm not triggered by this. It's like, okay, that's fine. Triggers are relative to the person. Why don't we ever have self-fulfilling prophecy that we're awesome and worthy and lovable? Chico, we can. You can, though. That's the thing. Is if you move into a space where you engage in self-talk that is compassionate and patient, which is what I preach all the time, if you can start looking at yourself as worthy of love and deserving of love and compassion, you will start to look for data that supports that. It's what your brain does. But it's hard to do that because our brains are hardwired to look for the negatives, because those are the things that keep us safe back in the day. Like, you have to avoid the bad things. We have to pay attention to them so that we avoid them. Now that we live in a generally safe society, that goes off the rails. But that's where, like, when I'm working with people through really severe and debilitating anxiety and some really poor self-esteem, it's trying to rewire some of that self-talk, and that takes an immense amount of effort. It takes more effort the older you are. Really rough. But yeah, that's where secure attachment's really helpful, and having really calm, compassionate caregivers, because they can help impart that to you, and it becomes easier to believe that type of thing. If you've never heard that type of thing, it's hard to hear yourself say it to yourself. That's why when I sign off every night, I say, you matter, your experiences are valid, and don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise. I truly mean that. course. Of course. How am I going to get down there when I don't have a rope? And now I get to go walk through a freaking storm. You guys, I'm going to still wear the otter. You like the otter? Is that why 50 positive comments get ignored over one hate comment? Yes, Primal. Our brain is primed that way to notice those things. Anhedonia can be a symptom of dysthymia. There we go. I think my knee... I'm sure there's a hell of a lot of comorbidity, girl. Anhedonia is a symptom. Dysthymia is a mental illness. There we go. Okay. I think my niece is definitely getting secure attachment. It's nice to see. She's a very brave little thing for being almost 2. That's really cool. Isn't it neat how you can see those things in action, Skog? I love it so much. We have to know what's negative so we avoid it, but we don't need to fixate on it. That is so... Seriously, D. I preach this all the time. We have the power to determine where we direct our selective focus. It's okay to notice a negative thing. Ruminating on it is a decision we make. But what people often do is they say, well, I don't want to think about it. That's fine, but you have to determine what to replace that selective focus with. So if you notice a bad thing, that's cool. I see it. It's over there. But I'm going to direct my focus over here to this good thing, into this positive self-talk. Because that's really important for me to do for my own health. And I have the power to do that. And then directing that focus and keeping your energy that way. And if you notice the bad thing creeps in, you go, okay, cool. Thanks for being over here. I'm going to move you over here and I'm going to focus over here. That does not happen innately. That is a conscious decision we have to make until it becomes autopilot. And whoop. Here we go. Quora is a helpful website. I've never really been on it. I didn't even know what Quora was until I saw Dr. Gerner on it. Okay, junk components over there. Junk components up there. Okay. Does hypnotism hold any merit in your professional world? Sort of. Kind of depends on who you ask, Zach. I'm somewhat ambivalent about it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, it doesn't work and it's not a thing. I also don't use it and probably never will. So I'm just kind of like, I acknowledge that it's a thing that people do. But I don't know whether it works or not. What man do you love? Look into it. Or what man do you love? I want to know who you're talking about. I love the idea of being like, I see you over there in the corner, Karen, but I'm just going to do my thing to the thought. It's true, though. That's what mindfulness is predicated on, Skog. It's the idea that you notice what your thoughts your brain is generating and what feelings you have going on for you, and then making conscious decisions about being what to pay attention to. We have the power to do that at various skill levels, but that's why anybody who's worth their salt, who's taking you down the mindfulness pathway, is going to say this takes time. This isn't something that's innate. I'm watching a lot of your videos on YouTube since I first discovered you, and it's helped me see things in a different light. Are you talking to me? Look into it. Oh, I like how you do one of your tidbits live. Oh yeah, I clip the tidbits after every stream and then send them over to Sean, who does video production, who uploads them to YouTube, and then I sort them and put them out on YouTube. I'm glad you watch them. Look into it. By the way, for anybody who's in here who doesn't know what Look Into It's talking about, my YouTube channel, which you can find a link for right here. Maybe. No, what the hell? Oh, good. My stream deck's not working. All right. Oh, whatever. My YouTube channel youtube.com/c/DrMick Live has mental health tidbits that come out daily. Now, that has stopped over the last week because I was sick for 2 weeks, so I don't have any clips to post, but I will be starting that back up hopefully this week. Sometimes people think being happy just happens. I'm a positive, happy person. People assume I'm that way by nature and shocked when I tell them I work freaking hard at it. It takes a lot of effort, Chico. It does. And you have to be able to experience what we call negative emotions, like, you know, sadness, anger, etc. You have to be able to experience those too. Otherwise, you won't experience happiness. We cannot selectively mute feelings. Brain can't do it. So if you're like, you know what, I'm just going to stuff sadness. I'm going to not feel my sadness. Or I'm going to stuff anxiety. I'm going to numb myself to anxiety. You have also numbed yourself from experiencing happiness and joy and pride and satisfaction because the brain can't selectively mute. So you have to build up distress tolerance for the emotions that are not particularly fun to experience if you're ever going to experience happiness, positivity, and joy in any type of meaningful way. You have another mental health topic night planned at some point. Yeah, I got to look at January, Skog. But yes, I would love to do one. Oh, actually, you know what? That actually, So, starting in January, I'm going to be teaching my models class again, which means lesson plans day/nights are coming back. And for anybody who's joined the stream in the last, I guess, like 6 months or so and don't know what those are, I do my lecture preps for my graduate class, and then I do the lecture here in like a shortened version. So lesson plan nights are coming back in January. So there's going to be lots of mental health content coming your way. We're going to be talking about the models of therapy, which I'm going to, for the purposes of the stream, I'm going to convert over to what a client should understand, like what people in general at large should understand about the way that human behavior and interactions are conceptualized systemically, as opposed to the clinical approach. That's my goal this year for lesson plan days. So yeah, make sure you hang out for those. It's !link, Skog. I think learning about the concept of distress tolerance has legit helped me so much recently. I'm really glad to hear that. Lesson plan streams. Yep, they're coming back, baby. What's up, M-Dash? You like my stash? I know. It'll be gone in a couple days. Atomic, hello. Wish I could have been here earlier, but my dad had a mini stroke. Oh my God. How's he doing, Atomic? Were they able to do the... Were they able to get that injection thing in time that basically blockades all the stroke from becoming an issue?
Cargo verified. Thank you.
Man, I hope he's okay. Strokes are really scary. He's doing better now. It was just because of the stress. He doesn't have the best heart. He's in like 4 different meds, but yeah, he's doing good now. I'm really glad to hear that, Atomic. God damn, that's scary. It is absolutely terrifying.
I appreciate you going out of your way for us, Sam.
It's just scary how like stuff can happen. It's like brain aneurysms and shit. How like it can just happen like that. And you're like, what?
How did you manage to carry
And it can have such adverse effects. My mom works in a life care facility doing occupational therapy. A lot of them are post-stroke victims. So I've had a lot of... My mom has shared a lot about what it's like to recover from strokes and stuff. And I have a whole appreciation for how hard that process is on both the people who have the stroke and on their families. But I'm glad to have you here, Atomic. All right.
Good work. New order available. Please act.
Order available. Is it an order for Sam? No. Ooh, all right. So I got to get up to Lake Knot City again. It appears. Maybe? Okay. Special alloys. We'll go... Oh, man. I don't know if I want to go all the way up there. Could go down to the Timefall Farm. No, we're going to go up to Lake Knot City. Okay. What did I miss in chat? Oh, here we go. I couldn't stay near it, but I think they got everything done properly. My mom was there, and I overheard her say the paramedics like Ty or something like that. Started with a T. Yeah, I don't remember the name of it. I hope we meet a guy who's unironically wearing reindeer horns headband next. That'd be pretty awesome.
We'll meet again soon, Sam. I know we will.
Well, this is handy. I swear between the stress from this job, the caffeine I've been downing, and my shitty eating habits, I'm amazed I haven't succumbed to my shitty heart yet. Yeah, I've got a bad heart too, K-girl. My family, everybody in my family dies of heart attacks. So I've pretty much had to resign myself to the fact that that is how I will die. What's a fetish? Fetish is something that a person, like, is anything that a person is very intensely sexually attracted to, Titan. So, like, for example, a foot fetish is somebody who experiences really significant sexual arousal from feet. Or I mean, pretty much anything can be fetishized. Don't start smoking then, Dr. Mick. Oh yeah, no, I don't have any intention to smoke. By the way, we finally got the cigarette smoke taken care of in our apartment. You guys remember how I was bitching about that? I have the most amazing landlords in the world. They got it taken care of. So no more having to worry about it. Apparently the guy was really cool about it. He didn't realize that it was leaking into other people's apartments. So once he found out, he was like, oh, geez, like, I didn't know. I'll stop. Thank you for telling me. And he did. The landlords did not nuke the guy. My landlords are awesome. So what they actually did was they went to the management office and they brought donuts to the management office, and they were really nice. And they were like, hey, you know, we want to be cool about this, but our tenants are experiencing cigarette smoke, and that's not cool. And we do not want to lose our tenants because of it. So can you guys pretty please do something about it? And they did. And they went and they nicely talked to the guy, and they got it taken care of. I know you said take bacon. I didn't take bacon. I should have taken bacon. Here's the thing also about fetishes, guys. For those who don't know this, fetishes are not always experienced positively. It can actually be really distressing for people. Like, if you've got a fetish for something that is not really acceptable, or if you have a fetish for something that's hard to access, it can be really torture for people. So we kind of have this tendency to be like, oh, that's so cool, you like get off the feet. But some people are like, no, this is like literal torture. I would be better off just walking with these damn things. Oh my God. Oh dear, I severely butchered fetish in an essay that I wrote. What did you say about it, Titan? Stroke is dealing with oxygen to the brain. Heart attack is lack of oxygen to the cardiac muscle. Yeah, doesn't it? It also is like your artery gets blocked to the point where it just like can't push the blood through. Sometimes torture is the fetish. That is also true. That is also true, Matt. Sort of like people who are attracted to children but don't act upon it. That is correct, gay girl. I just noticed the Vegas sweater. Out of curiosity, are you more of a Vegas fan or Chicago fan? I tend to lean on the fence between Vegas and St. Louis. So, Tacky, that's actually a really interesting question for me because I have been dealing with trying to figure that out myself. I love the Blackhawks, like, and I will always be a Blackhawks fan. But at the same time, like, I was there at the very beginning for the Golden Knights. Like, I went to the expansion draft, and I love Las Vegas. If they were playing in like the Western Conference Finals, I would probably still root for the Hawks. But I wear a lot more Vegas stuff than I do Hawks stuff. I don't know. It's a tough one. But I love the Golden Knights. Blockage will usually be the cause of a stroke. Oh, let's see. There we go. At least you don't drive like Sage and try to hit every single rock. Does she, oh, she tries to hit the rocks? By the way, did she finish the game yet, Uncle Bill? So I was writing an essay in my AP language and composition class about my mom. About how my mom went with my brother to watch him play golf at a hotel in California, and I was locked out of my hotel room because she didn't give me a key for the room. I ended saying she doesn't have a fetish for golf, so it didn't make sense why she wanted to watch him play. I mean, that's not an entirely wrong context. But what that reads as, if you read that literally, Titan, is my mom doesn't have a very intense sexual attraction to golf.
New order available.
Really wish I could go to a game for the Golden Knights. I'd like to as well, Atomic. I want to go to actually want to go to Vegas for my birthday and go to a game, but I don't think that's going to happen. Also, Chev, what did you ask? Would they still be considered pedophiles? I actually don't know the answer to that, but from what I understand, Chev, I don't think a person's a pedophile until they actually act on it. Actually, no, that's not true. Because like an audiophile is somebody who's like really into like audio equipment. Pedophile means you're into children. Sexual offender is different than pedophile. And those two things have been combined, and I think that's actually a really bad thing. We'll get the sticky guns. All right, let's do it. Sage did finish Death Stranding. Okay. Non-lethal assault rifle. I'm going to go ahead and make that. Damn it. Okay.
The sticky gun is a weapon.
Yes, I'm aware of what the sticky gun is.
Right out. I'm sure. Just come.
We're going to go ahead and carry that on my back. We're going to go ahead and carry that on the tool rack. Here we go. Wasn't intending it as that. It was more like, no, I got what you mean, Titan. I got you, man.
Order assigned.
That stubborn ass is unstoppable. Lots of gameplay hours, but she finished over 2 weeks ago. Wow.
Getting scanned. Have a pleasant journey.
Oof. I've been avoiding spoilers for the ending because I kind of want to see the end through this stream if we keep it up. Oh, we're going to keep it up, Skog. I am going to carry this game to completion, I can assure you. All right, let's get the sticky guns. Bungie just did something scummy in Iron Banner. New season, new quest required to do before turning in tokens. Last step is to get 10 rocket launcher kills. There's a bunch of games of people camping the heavy the whole game without capping points. I am really disappointed with Bungie and Destiny right now. To the point that I'm not playing the game. Like, I've been playing a shitload of Halo. That's what I've been playing. It's probably what I will be playing for a long time now. Like, I am not a fan of the direction that Bungie's going. It's really pissing me off. Pedophilia can be cured or treated. Well, so pedophilia is really only harmful when a person acts upon it, Chev. So, but certainly you could treat it. The thing is, and I've talked about this a few times, is because pedophilia is so stigmatized, people who experience pedophilia often don't seek treatment because they're afraid that if they talk about it, they're going to be reported because the therapist is going to freak out. If a therapist manages not to freak out and is actually willing to treat it as something that is debilitating for a person, yeah, I would imagine it's something a person can work through. At the very least, figure out how to manage. I saw a meme about Halo today, and oh my, it actually hurt. I love me some Halo. I'll play the campaign on stream, but I don't think I'll ever play multiplayer on stream because I do like call outs and stuff, and I would not be able to pay attention to chat. This game is long as balls. It's so chill though. Well, I mean, I really love, again, it's fabulous background fodder. Also, Mavman91, thank you for the follow. I'm so sorry I didn't read that. I don't know if you're still here, but thank you for that follow. Same thing with Corvus. You can tell it's been 2 weeks. I see the 2 notifications and I didn't even say hello. Hello. Thank you for the follows. I have an extremely weird fetish that's hard to explain. Should I disclose that to a psychiatrist? If you want to. If you experience it as distressing and it feels like something you want to talk to your therapist about, sure thing, man.
Hey, you're gonna love this.
Is the Mac. Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. Fuel post box. All right. Coming up on it. I know of a few OCD group members who struggle with getting treatment because, oh boy. Come on, boys. Oh God. Hold up. Bam. Let's go. What the hell is this guy doing? Yeah, drive away, bitch. Oh God. What do you think of chatbot therapy apps like Wobot? I'd be concerned about data privacy issues. I don't know enough about them, D, but that is certainly a reasonable fear. I have not actually heard of like chatbot therapy. I don't even know how that would work. I don't know how a chatbot could ever really do therapy with a person. Who the hell are these guys? They're mules. They're bad guys. We are firing blood bullets. I didn't even realize that. Actually, should probably change the ammo, huh? Oh God, I need more ammo. All right, we're gonna go into the camp. All right, sorry, got distracted there. My fetish is positive punishment. I call it positive punishment because that's literally what I thought positive punishment was when I was in college. Hey, that's what you're into. There's nothing wrong with it. As long as it's consensual. I have moved on from just punching. I'm a cold-blooded assassin now, Skog. Might want to switch the regular rubber bullets. Your blood is getting drained from maybe not much benefit. Ah. Now I know. I've only got 6 bullets left, so this is going to be really interesting. Non-lethal assault rifle. Yeah. Oh boy. All right, we're gonna punch this guy. Oh boy. All right, hang tight. I'm the most badass postman. You like that jump punch? Get out of here. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. My professor asked the class, for example, upon his punishment. I said spanking during sex because you're being punished, but you like it, so it's positive. I love it, K-Girl. Oh, man. That's hilarious. I mean, if you're taking the definition literally, what is this thing? Hey Siri, can I have a therapy session? Yeah. Yeah. Siri, give me like 10 minutes. How do I unequip this? All right. What actually is positive punishment then? Positive punishment would be adding, I mean, as far as I'm thinking about it from like a behavioral standpoint, positive punishment would be adding something as a punishment. So, let's say, for example, somebody in here, or like you guys were being unruly, and I added something to my soundboard that was an incredibly obnoxious noise. That would be like a positive punishment because I'm adding something as a means to extinguish your behavior or punish your behavior. Does that make sense? Like adding extra time to a timeout. Positive punishment. I've never played a Metal Gear game, Rad, but I could certainly see how that would be the case. Tried a couple of chat pods. They're helpful if you want to figure out how to express your feelings, and they suggest helpful meditations and stuff, but it didn't feel like real therapy for sure. That's actually really interesting, M-Dash. I appreciate you sharing that. Broadway Boy, thank you for the follow. Broadway Boy. I like that name. That's cool. Alexa, do CBT with me. All right, anything? We are definitely not going to the Elder. No way, no how. Nothing. Oh well. Well, it's good to have you here, Broadway. I appreciate all the new follows tonight. E to the B, thank you for the follow as well. I didn't even see that one. Thank you, thank you. I used to do that to my ex. If you ever watched The Wild Thornberrys, Nigel, the dad, has a very distinctive laugh. Whenever she would annoy that, I would play the laugh. Nigel Thornberry. God, I haven't thought about the Wild Thornberrys in a long time. My sister used to watch the shit out of that show. It's not bad. Nigel's got a hell of a nose. Nigel Thornberry. Pretty sure that's not quite how his voice was, but that laugh. I can't remember what his laugh sounded like. I legitimately can't remember his laugh. Kind of makes me sad. I wish I could. But yes, that's my understanding of positive punishment. At least from my, like, learning theory, behavioral conditioning standpoint. I'm all about. But I'm excited to start doing the lesson plan nights again. I feel like I didn't finish that thought. I am excited to start doing that. I have to figure out what day I'm going to do it on. I teach on Thursdays. That's the other thing is I'm going to get, our stream schedule is going to get a little bit messed up in the winter here because I have to teach from 12:30 to 3:30 on Thursdays, which is normally my day off. So I'm going to have to figure that one out. One thing I learned in foster training was like making a currency earned for good behaviors to cash in. Instead of taking TV away or bad behavior, you can run through the currency for good behavior. Yeah, so that's positive reinforcement or reward, Corvus. And yes, absolutely. Rewarding desirable behavior is super effective. Generally, what you want to do is you want to punish undesirable behavior and reward desirable behavior, but you want to really emphasize the rewarding of desirable behavior. People do things they are rewarded for. You train dogs by rewarding the desirable behavior. When you say sit to a dog and it sits and you throw it a treat, you are rewarding the desirable behavior. So it's making the connection from a conditioning standpoint that if a person says sit and I sit down, I will be rewarded.
Verifying ID. Clear.
I think I blocked his laugh out because my music major friends used to make remixes of it. That's, oh my God. I could see how that would be traumatizing, Mac. Tim Curry did the voice for Nigel. I don't know who Tim Curry is. I was talking about couple therapy with my mom today, and then I found your channel. I am a couples therapist. I'm a licensed couples therapist. What were you talking about couples therapy? Like, what about it? I have to take these all the way up to Lake Knot City, don't I? Here we go. You think Pavlov thought about feeding his dog every time a bell rang? I love that joke so much, Tree Hugger. And he actually probably did, and I bet you he would tell you that he did if you could ask him. Manager from Home Alone 2 and the trans from Rocky Horror. I've never seen Rocky Horror either. I'm so uncultured. It's disappointing. I was supposed to go to the Rocky Horror Picture Show when I was in college, and I had to wear that like lipstick V on my forehead, and then for whatever reason the show got canceled like last second, and I wasn't able to actually watch it. My parents never grounded me or my brother. If they did, it wasn't taken as a joke because they were never serious. But if we swore we got our mouth washed out with soap, yeah, that'll usually make you stop. I got grounded twice when I was a kid. Once because I broke a window with a golf ball, and the second time because I broke a bike with a golf ball. My dad said no playing with hard golf balls. I played with hard golf balls, and that's what... You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Pirate captain from the Muppets movie. My parents stopped grounding me when they realized I didn't go anywhere. See, it's funny because kids can reinforce their parents too. If your parents ground you and you don't change your behavior, then you have reinforced for them that grounding is not a proper punishment. Kids often are more in tune with the way that they can condition their parents than parents are with the way they can condition their kids. Which I have found doing a lot of family work. What's with the golf balls? Yeah, I used to play golf in my yard. I loved golf. I'd do anything to play it. And I'd play with hard golf balls, even though my dad said you have to play with wiffle balls in the yard. And my dumbass didn't listen. Don't give Doc a golf ball. Unless I'm on a golf course, in which case, then we're cool. But yeah, no, don't give me a golf ball if I'm in a backyard. We're watching a movie and a couple was trying therapy. And then I was talking to her about couple therapy might work with some people, because some couples need to have a third option in their opinion in their lives. Absolutely. That's what I'm there for, Broadway. Have I ever been hit by a golf ball? No, but I knew somebody who got hit by a golf ball, and it was really bad. Oh, what's up, Matt? Send Dr. Mick a bunch of golf balls. I'd be okay with that, Raven. I need them to play with in the summer. Me and my friend did that, but we used mini wooden baseball bats and broke neighbor's window. Yep. Broke my neighbor's kitchen window. I had to go over and apologize, and I was grounded from being able to do anything for like a week or something like that. I think my parents actually ended the grounding early because of good behavior. And then when I went and busted the bike, it was curtains. Summer does seem so far away, Matt. It really does. It's a bummer. I'm ready for it to be here now. All right, let's finally deliver these stupid ass things. Here you go. Here's your sticky guns, my man. Sam.
Good work, Sam. The weapons you've recovered are something the techs have been calling sticky guns. Anyway, none of this is on you. We should have kept a close eye on them in the first place.
Finally have feeling back in my legs? What happened to your legs, Raven?
Great. Most of them are accounted for.
What do you mean most of them? All of them.
We've kept the damage to a minimum.
I brought all 6. Stress. Oh, wow. Oh, it's Broadway. It's totally fine. You can say whatever you want. It's I have the mature filter thing on for a reason, so don't worry about it. We say inappropriate things at times, and it's all good.